Uh-huh. So, I have here a floating magnet. Whoop. Whoops. Okay. See it in there? You can see the separation between the upper magnets and the lower magnets. And if you look down here, there's another one, because inside my test tube, there's two sets of magnets, the upper one and the lower one, and then there's a set of magnets in the bottom. So when I lower this down, see it's resting on the bottom. Now watch it. It goes up. And so I had this floating here, and I push it down. Watch it. It actually springs higher than I push down. Not all the time. It's got a little resistance because it's tippy. And I'm going to fix that, I think. Maybe we fix it here. Okay. So we now have it floating in oil. The test tube itself is probably floating just above the magnets. Let's watch it. Nah, it's not floating. Too bad about that. Yeah, it is now. Look at that. Now it is. It's really floating. Wow. Okay, so watch this. Whoa. Hey. No, it's not floating. Oh well. Not enough oil in there. So we've got oil inside of there now, and my it's supposed to be a compass, right, to show me what north is, but it doesn't seem to have like a preferred. Well, there it goes. That's north. Sometimes it doesn't have a preferred direction. It just kind of points any old which way it wants to. And where did the AUPT go? There it is. Okay. So we'll get the flat side here. And it's, balancing on top there. The stick is straight up and down. Everything's straight up and down. See the line of these things back here are vertical. Okay, so everything's vertical. This still has no preferred direction because this is not magnetic. The AUPT is diamagnetic. And what it's doing up there is not so much stuck to a magnet as floating on top of it. It's resisting falling away from that magnetic field. The diamagnetic field is holding it in place. It comes right off, as you saw when I tapped it the last time. And now we've got, whoa, there it went. Told you so. So anyway, it goes around and around because it's floating on air. Coming up further than it was before with the oil in it. That's interesting, huh? See what I mean? Watch. It goes up further than it pushed down. That's pretty amazing. Because you know what? If you take a rope, you tie a heavy weight onto it, make a pendulum, like this. Okay, if I start this pendulum like that, if I pull it back, like so, and I let it go, it never makes it back to my fingers. It always makes a shorter and shorter arc until it finally stops. Because there's resistance in all of those parts, creating friction. Okay? And this is true in all closed systems. You cannot get more energy out of them than you put into them. Except my little magnet here, and it doesn't even need darn AUPT, man. I mean, there may be enough AUPT around that it just floats. No, it's floating because magnets float on top of each other, and I've got them in a column where they can't, tip over. So that's why they're floating. It's not because there's, any superconductors or anything. Plastic and glass conduct magnetism without any problem. They do not, however, conduct heat. Okay, AUPT, on the other hand, conducts both heat and magnetism. So it's a little different than a piece of plastic or a piece of, but that AUPT, and I dropped that nice piece that I had there. But I can use anything for an example. That AUPT has no preferred direction because it's made up of a checkerboard of AU and PT. There's a section of platinum and then a section of gold. Section of platinum and a section of gold. And it goes gold, platinum, gold, platinum, gold, platinum in a three-dimensional checkerboard. Okay? And that three-dimensional checkerboard extends through the entire rock, right? So for instance, if I know the address of this one and this one and this one, I can then calculate the address of all the others, because they're lined up in perfect little rows and columns. And so that cubic arrangement is throughout the entire thing. And then if this one's north, this one's got to be south. So if this one's north, this one's south, and this one's south, and this one's south. This one up here in the northwest and the southeast and the northeast and the southwest corners are the north or south or whatever it was, the other way around. They're the same as the one in the center. So there's the same thing, and that's just in 2 dimensions. It goes in 3 dimensions, right? And a cube has 6 sides, so there's 6 opposite charges around it, but then there's 8 corners, right? So there you have it. It's not magic. It's the way stuff fits together. And cubes that have a north-south orientation get mixed up. They're not all lined up going the same direction because they've got to fit next to each other. And that is, in fact, what creates that perfectly spaced rows and columns of stuff. Because it's done with magnets. They are little magnets. Every AU and PT create a north-south orientation. They can't help it. Because one has one more proton and electron. The gold has one more proton and electron pair than the PT, than the platinum. And that creates a charge difference. And that charge difference creates the magnetic field. That magnetic field is actually stronger than an iron magnetic field, because iron is just a single electron. But when they're all mixed up like this, see, iron, when you have iron, they form little islands like this, sure enough. But they all wind up with each other, so that those islands are all heading in the same direction, and these can't do that because they're 2 different elements. And they don't combine like silver and copper do in sterling silver. They remain separate. And they form in perfect rows and columns that alternate between north, south, north, south. So it's not just platinum and gold, It's north, south, north, south also. And positive and negative, positive and negative, positive and negative. Because everything in the universe is made up out of hydrogen atoms. An up quark and a down quark. Yin and Yang. Because that's how stuff fits together.